Men, let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. What if I told you that 97% of women are secretly craving something specific in bed? Something they desperately want, but feel too embarrassed to ask for. And what if I told you that most men are completely missing this night after night, leaving their partners frustrated and unsatisfied? I am Dr. Lucy Stone, and I've spent over 15 years working with couples, studying female sexuality, and conducting private interviews with thousands of women about their most intimate desires. What I discovered will probably shock you because it has nothing to do with size, stamina, or any of the things men typically worry about. In fact, the number one thing women crave in bed is so simple, so basic that most men overlook it entirely, assuming it's a given when in reality it's the very foundation that is often missing from their intimate lives. This isn't about a secret technique or a hidden erogenous zone. It's about the fundamental atmosphere you create between the two of you, an invisible current of energy and attention that either makes her feel like the center of your universe or just another item on your to-do list. Yet, when you understand what it is and how to give it to her, everything changes. Her response changes, her enthusiasm changes, the way she looks at you changes. And tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. But first, I need you to understand why women keep this secret. You see, from a very young age, women are taught to be accommodating, to not make demands, to avoid seeming needy or high maintenance. This cultural conditioning runs deep, teaching them that their primary role is to be pleasing and agreeable, often at the expense of their own authentic desires. In the context of a relationship, this conditioning becomes even stronger, creating a powerful internal conflict between what she truly longs for and what she feels she is allowed to request. But after 15 years, I can tell you that many women would rather fake satisfaction than risk hurting their partner's feelings or appearing difficult. The result is a silent epidemic. Millions of women are having mediocre sex while their partners remain completely unaware. They smile, they make the right sounds, but inside they are wondering if this is all there is, questioning whether their own desires are simply too much to ask for or if this level of disconnect is just a normal part of long-term relationships. They love their men, but they are starving for something deeper, something more connected, something that makes them feel truly seen and desired, not just as a body, but as a full, complex person whose pleasure matters. After interviewing over 10,000 women in private sessions, the pattern became crystal clear. It was not about technique. It was not about equipment. It was about presence, about attention, about making her feel like the most desirable woman in the world. Not just in the moment, but throughout the entire experience, from the way you greet her after work to the way you hold her after the fact. The number one thing women crave is feeling genuinely wanted, not just tolerated, not just available, but actively, desperately desired. They want to feel like you cannot keep your hands off them, like being with them is the highlight of your day, like their body and their pleasure matter more than anything else in that moment. This might sound obvious, but here's the problem. Most men think they are already doing this. They initiate sex, they participate, they try to make it good. But there is a massive, crucial difference between going through the motions and making a woman feel truly, deeply craved. Let me give you an example. When you reach for her, is it because you genuinely cannot resist her, because the sight of her in that moment has completely captivated you, or is it because it has been a few days and you think you should? When you touch her, are you fully present with her body, feeling the texture of her skin and the curve of her hip, or are you already thinking about the next step, mentally running through a checklist? When you look at her, does she see raw hunger and admiration in your eyes, or does she see someone checking off a task, someone whose mind is already halfway out the door? Women can sense the difference immediately. They are exquisitely attuned to the subtleties of your presence and can feel when your attention is scattered, when you are rushing, when you are focused more on your own release than on her experience. And when they sense that disconnection, their own desire starts to shut down like a flower closing up for the night. But when a woman feels genuinely craved, when she feels like you are completely captivated by her, something magical happens. Her body responds differently, becoming more receptive and alive. Her inhibitions fade, allowing her to be more vulnerable and expressive. She becomes more vocal, more adventurous, more eager to please you in return because she feels so thoroughly cherished. The entire dynamic changes from a mundane obligation to a vibrant celebration of your connection. So, how do you make her feel this way? It starts long before you ever touch her, in the quiet, ordinary moments of your day-to-day life together. It starts with how you look at her during the day, how you speak to her, how you prioritize her in your thoughts and actions. When she walks into a room, do you actually stop what you are doing and truly look at her, taking her in, or do you offer a distracted grunt? When she talks to you, are you fully listening, engaged with her words and her emotions, or are you half distracted by your phone, the television, or your own internal monologue? These moments matter more than you realize because they set the stage for everything that happens later. They are the deposits you make into the emotional bank account of your intimacy, building a reserve of connection that you can draw from later. Women need to feel desired as whole people, not just as bodies available for sex. They want to know that you find them interesting, attractive, and worthy of your complete attention, that you value their mind and their spirit just as much as their physical form. This is not about being fake or putting on an act for a desired outcome. This is about genuinely appreciating the woman you are with and letting her feel that appreciation in 1,000 small ways. From the way you listen to her story about her day to the way you spontaneously bring her a cup of tea just the way she likes it. Now, when it comes to the physical side, the principle remains the same, but the stakes get higher. In the bedroom, your attention and presence become even more critical. The spotlight on your connection intensifies. Most men approach sex like a task to complete, a linear journey from point A to point B. They have a mental checklist. Kiss her, touch her here, move to there, finish. This mechanical, goal-oriented approach is exactly what leaves women feeling disconnected and unsatisfied, as if they are merely a participant in a scripted performance rather than a co-creator of a shared experience. Instead, try this. Tonight, when you are with her, slow everything down. I mean everything. Start with looking at her like you are seeing her for the first time, with a sense of wonder and discovery. Run your hands over her skin like you are trying to memorize every inch, feeling the landscape of her body with genuine curiosity. Kiss her like you have been thinking about it all day, like her lips are the only destination that matters. Touch her like her body is the most fascinating thing you have ever encountered, and you have all the time in the world to explore it. The second thing women desperately crave is communication, but not the kind you might think. They do not want you to ask 100 clinical questions about what feels good, which can feel more like a technician troubleshooting a problem than a lover lost in the moment. They want you to tell them what you are thinking, what you are feeling, what you love about being with them. They want the verbal confirmation of your desire. Most men are completely silent during sex, and this silence feels like a chasm of disconnection to women. They start to wonder if you are bored, if you are thinking about something else, if you are just going through the motions. They need to hear your voice to know you are present and engaged, that your mind is right here with her. You do not need to be poetic or creative. Simple, honest, heartfelt statements work perfectly. Tell her she feels incredible. Tell her you love the way she responds to your touch. Tell her how much you have been wanting this moment all day. Tell her she drives you crazy in the best possible way. The key is that these words need to be genuine, emerging from your real experience in the moment. Women have an almost supernatural ability to detect when you are saying something just because you think you should, when the words are hollow and rehearsed. But when your words come from real desire, real appreciation, real presence, they land like electricity, jolting her system with a powerful confirmation of her desirability. The third thing women crave is your complete focus on their pleasure. But here is the tricky part. They do not want it to feel like work for you. They do not want to feel like you are performing a duty or trying to prove your stamina or technique. They want to feel like giving them pleasure is something you genuinely enjoy, something you find exciting and satisfying in its own right, a gift you give that you also receive pleasure from. This is where many men get confused. They think being a generous lover means going through a specific routine or lasting a certain amount of time, ticking boxes on a list of things good lovers do. But what women really want is to feel like their pleasure matters to you on an emotional level, like you find their responses fascinating, like making them feel good is one of your favorite things in the world. Pay attention to her breathing, noticing the subtle catch when something feels particularly good. Notice when she tenses up or relaxes into your touch, letting her body guide your actions. Watch her face, the flutter of her eyelids, the part of her lips. Listen to the sound she makes, the soft sighs and moans that are her body's native language. React to what you observe, letting her know you see her and you are responding to her. If something you are doing is working, stay with it. Don't feel the need to change it up just for variety's sake. If she seems to be pulling away or disconnecting, try something different, guided by your attentiveness rather than a preconceived plan. The fourth thing women crave is variety, but not in the way you might expect. They do not necessarily want you to try 100 different positions or elaborate techniques from a magazine. What they want is for you to stay curious about their body, to keep exploring with a sense of fresh discovery, to approach them with the same sense of wonder and anticipation you had when you first got together, when every touch was new and thrilling. Many couples fall into patterns over time that become predictable and boring, a routine that lacks spontaneity. You touch her the same way, in the same order, for the same amount of time. She knows exactly what is coming next, and so do you. This predictability kills desire faster than almost anything else because it signals that you are no longer truly paying attention, that you are operating on autopilot. Instead, stay curious. Treat each encounter as a new opportunity to learn something about her. Try different pressures, from the lightest whisper of a touch to a firmer, more confident grasp. Experiment with different rhythms, sometimes slow and languid, other times more urgent and passionate. Vary the amounts of time you spend, understanding that some nights she might want a long, drawn-out exploration, and other nights a more intense, focused connection. Pay attention to how she responds on different days, in different moods, at different times. Her body is not a machine. It is constantly changing, and what worked wonderfully last week might not be what she needs tonight. Your job is to be a detective of her pleasure, always observing, always adapting. The fifth thing women crave is emotional safety. They need to feel like they can be completely vulnerable with you, like they can let go and surrender to the experience without being judged or criticized. Many women hold back in bed because they are worried about how they look, how they sound, how they smell, or how long they are taking, their minds pulled out of the moment by a chorus of insecurities. Your role is to create an environment where she feels completely accepted, adored, and free from judgment. Compliment her body, but make sure your compliments are specific and genuine, focusing on what you truly find beautiful, the curve of her back, the softness of her skin, the light in her eyes. Tell her how much you love the sound she makes, the way she moves, the way her body responds to yours. Let her know, through your words and your unwavering attention, that her pleasure is worth waiting for, that you are not in a rush, that you want her to take all the time she needs to feel fully immersed in the experience. This safety is the bedrock upon which she can build her own unrestrained passion. The sixth thing women crave is your own genuine pleasure and enthusiasm. They do not want to feel like you are doing them a favor or going through the motions out of obligation. They want to see and feel that you are truly enjoying yourself, that being with them turns you on, that you find the whole experience of connecting with them exciting and deeply satisfying. Do not hide your own responses. Let her be a witness to the effect she has on you. Let her hear your breath quicken. Let her see the desire in your eyes. Let her feel the urgency in your touch. Your genuine excitement and pleasure is one of the most powerful turn-ons for most women. It is the ultimate feedback loop. When they see that they have a real, visceral effect on you, it makes them feel powerful, sexy, and profoundly desired, which in turn fuels their own desire and responsiveness. The seventh thing women crave is consistency. This isn't just about what happens in the bedroom, but in how you treat them and prioritize them throughout your relationship. They want to feel desired and appreciated on a random Tuesday afternoon, not just on Saturday night when you want sex. Make an effort to connect with her physically throughout the day, even when it is not leading to sex. A lingering touch on her shoulder as you pass in the hallway, a spontaneous kiss when you come home from work, holding her hand while you are watching television. These small, non-demanding gestures of affection and desire build the foundation for great intimacy later. They are a constant whisper of your attraction, telling her she is always on your mind. The eighth thing women crave is your presence during the entire experience, not just during the physical act itself. They want you to be mentally and emotionally present from the first kiss to the last moment you are together, through the afterglow and the quiet conversation that follows. They want to feel like this time with them is the most important thing happening in your world right now, that there is nowhere else you'd rather be and nothing else you'd rather be doing. This requires a conscious effort to put away distractions. Turn off your phone. Silence the notifications. Actively stop your mind from wandering to thoughts about work or tomorrow's plans. Be completely there with her, your consciousness fully aligned with the present moment. Women can sense with uncanny accuracy when your mind is elsewhere, and it makes them feel disconnected, unimportant, and ultimately, less inclined to open up fully. The ninth thing women crave is patience. The female sexual response cycle is often more complex and slower to unfold than the male one. Many women need more time to warm up, more time to get fully aroused, more time to reach climax, and this timeline can vary from day to day. They do not want to feel rushed or pressured, as that pressure immediately shuts down the very relaxation required for pleasure. They want to feel like you have all the time in the world for her, like her pace is perfectly fine with you, and that you are enjoying the journey as much as the destination. Do not watch the clock. Do not act impatient or sigh with frustration. Do not make her feel, in any way, that she is taking too long. Instead, learn to enjoy the process itself. Savor the slow build-up, the gentle exploration, the gradual crescendo of sensation. Let her know, through your calm and focused presence, that you love taking your time with her, that every moment of discovery and connection is enjoyable and meaningful for you. The 10th and final thing women crave is feeling beautiful and desirable exactly as they are, in that very moment. Many women carry deep-seated insecurities about their bodies, their age, their experience level, comparing themselves to impossible cultural standards. They need you to make them feel like they are perfect in your eyes, like there is nowhere else you would rather be and no one else you would rather be with. Be generous with genuine, specific compliments that come from a place of true observation. Notice things about her that you find uniquely attractive and tell her. The way she smiles, the scent of her hair, the feel of her hand in yours. Make her feel like you see her as the most desirable woman in the world, not despite her perceived flaws, but including all the unique qualities that make her who she is. This is not about lying or exaggerating. It is about focusing on what you genuinely find appealing and intoxicating about her and having the courage to express it. Here is what I want you to understand. Giving a woman what she craves in bed is not about becoming a different person or learning a complicated series of advanced techniques. It is about being more present, more attentive, more connected to her and to the shared experience you are creating together. It is about shifting your focus from performance to connection, from goal to journey. Tonight, try this. Instead of approaching intimacy with any agenda or expectation, approach it with open-hearted curiosity. Instead of thinking about what you want to happen, focus completely on her. Watch her responses like they are the most fascinating story ever told. Listen to her breathing as if it's a secret language. Pay attention to what makes her come alive, what makes her sigh, what makes her pull you closer. Tell her what you notice. Tell her what you love about being with her. Tell her how she makes you feel. Let her hear in your voice that this matters to you, that she matters to you, that this time together is something you truly value and cherish. Move slowly, as if you have a lifetime to learn her. Take your time, savoring each sensation. Let yourself get lost in the experience instead of rushing toward a goal. Focus on connection instead of performance. Focus on her pleasure instead of your own timeline. When you approach intimacy this way, when you give her the presence and attention she has been secretly craving, everything changes. She responds differently, with a new depth of passion. She opens up more, trusting you with her vulnerability. She becomes more eager, more passionate, more deeply connected to you. And here's the beautiful, reciprocal part. When you focus on giving her what she truly needs, you end up getting everything you want, too. You receive better responses, more genuine enthusiasm, a deeper emotional and physical connection, and a partner who genuinely looks forward to being with you, who feels seen, cherished, and utterly desired. I'm Dr. Lucy Stone.